Good morning. I hope some of you were able to participate in World Card Making Day yesterday. We make cards most every day, so it's nice to celebrate one day that a lot of people are making them. So today I was going to do something again with the circle sayings. Because this set, is made to use with the circle punch, I like to do some other things with it too, like we did the circle sayings in the corner of the cards and things like that. And I'm also going to use a little bit of this Waves of Inspiration this time. So I'm starting with a card base that is Pool Party, and it's 5.5 by 8.5. So that's just a regular size card base. And then I'm going to be using this stamp. So I've got, I wanted something beachy or waves or, something that would match this that I was going to look at. So I thought that, this is one of my older ribbon folders, but it kind of looks like waves. So I'm going to mat that on the top. I think I'm going to do it this way. It's a little hard to see, but you can see how that's waves on there. And you can either put this on with liquid or Stampin' Seal or tear and tape, whatever you've got's fine. Sometimes with the embossed images like this, you do better with liquid just because, it's got the ups and downs and then you've got something holding onto it pretty tight. All right, so then I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper that's 3 by 4, and that's going to go right on here. Now, I'll show you how to make that. I did one already because I wanted it to dry. And I've got another one because I'm going to make 2 cards, make them just a little bit different. So you can either use your stamp pad, you can use your marker, or you can use your re-inker to watercolor, and I'll show you all 3. So I put a drop of re-inker just on one of my glass blocks. And then I'm just, pulling some water through it. And I always like to put a little bit of water on the paper first. Excuse me. So now I'm just putting, and again, this is Pool Party. And I can make it as dark or as light as I want to. Okay, if it gets too dark, you can blot it. See, and that'll take the color off. If it's too light, if you wait for it to dry and then add a little bit more, you can get some different shades of your color in there. Okay, and then for the yellow, I could color on the block and pick that up the same way. Or, of course, the old way that we had of doing it was to press down on the lid so that we get some ink on the lid, and then just pull your color on that. Actually, I meant to put some water down first. And the yellow, I think I'm using Dappa-Delta Light, is lighter, so. And you don't want your colors to touch, because if you do, they're going to bleed together and make a green. And that's one of the kind of the hallmarks of watercolor, is that you have white spaces. All right, so I'm going to leave that. And I will put that one aside to dry, because I was going to try something else with this one. I thought I might stamp this wave on there. Just down here where it's kind of blue. I just want to see what that looks like. And you'll kind of see where I'm going with all this once it's wide enough. And I'm just using a smaller block because I'm not going to ink the whole wave. Excuse me. So you can leave your watercolor plain like I'm going to with the other one. Actually, it's pooling a little bit. Put something to keep that down. Or you can stamp on top of it. It's kind of hard to see if this is inked or not. But there we go. See, that just gives it a little bit of a wave look. Move that out of the way. So now I am going to put that here. Okay, so I've got the waves, you know, the kind of the ripples in the water behind. And I am, on the watercolor paper, I almost always use liquid glue because since this paper is so textured, I just think it holds better with the liquid glue. Okay, and I'm going to hold that for just a second to make sure it gets some good. Okay, so in the meantime, you know what, I'm going to lay my punch on top of that so that it'll stay stay flat. Okay, so then I stamped a couple of these images. Now, if you were going to use the regular punch that comes with it, that's going to leave a pretty good white boundary around it. And I didn't want to do that. I actually want to have a white mat for this one. So I cut the this. You could either use a punch, or I actually used my stitched circle. So see that will be like this. Okay, I already colored one of these in, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Okay, and then I also did one of these sending you a, and I'm just gonna put that up here where that mat is. Now you could pop that up if you wanted to. I'm just gonna use some liquid glue. And I'll show you how I, kind of a tip for cutting that out in just a second. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to lay the whole thing on here. So see how that kind of, you know, you've got the yellow and the pool party behind, and that's also here. And this I am going to pop up. Whoops. So sending you a, and I will finish that. Let me get this on there. You don't have to pop this up. You know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it's certainly an option. So I'm going to put this right here so it kind of overlaps where the blue and the yellow are. Okay, and I'll finish off the inside in just a minute. I'll show you what I'm going to do there. Because this one I'm going to do very similar, just a little bit different. Okay, put that on there. Using my ribbon again. Put that on there. I was, you know, looking initially to do one of my, like the one that has the shells or the underwater sea life or something on the embossing folder, but I just really thought that mimicked the waves real well, so that's why I used that. Okay, and I'm going to put this on. Okay, so this one, you can see, oops, got something on there, didn't I? I did not stamp the waves on this one because I'm going to stamp actually some words. But I want to wait for it to dry completely. I think that's straight. There we go. I'm just going to lay that on there for a minute. And then I can color my waves. Now this marker, actually both of my markers probably need to be replaced, but that worked well for me this time because I only wanted a little bit of light color on here. And if the marker was full strength, it would be pretty dark. This one is dark, but it's also kind of running low. I don't know why all the markers decided to go at the same time. I don't use them the same amount. And then I stamped it in Pool Party, but I'm just doing some of these sun rays in the daffodil. Okay. So then let's see, let's punch another background circle. Suddenly that doesn't really look right. There we go, we'll use this one. That's my older 2.5 punch. This is my newer 2 3/8. Okay. Stick this on here. And again, I used the stitched circles to cut this out closer. And you can see it only left just the littlest bit of an, you know what I mean? I got everything but just that little bit. So 1 3/4 was a good size. There. Actually, I might want to cover that up. Just trim it. Sometimes, you know, your punch leaves a little bit of a edge. I can run it through with some aluminum foil, and that helps to sharpen it some so that you don't get that so bad. Okay. 68 degrees this morning. I'm very happy to not be, 85 this time in the morning. All right. Let's see if that's dry. Okay. So this, and I probably should have done it before I put it on there. This one I'm going to do sending you a, and I was going to stamp down here. You could say sending you a happy birthday or a smile or whatever. I was going to put a warm hello. Yep, that one says thank you. That one says warm hello. I used it quite a bit because I think you send somebody a warm hello, you can be saying happy birthday or miss you or thinking of you or whatever. And I'm just going to, because this is a lighter, I'm going to stamp tone on tone. That doesn't look like it's going to be very dark, does it? That's dark enough, see? Okay. It's still a little damp, so my word may run a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes those little happy accidents are fun. And if not, I will just cover it up with something else. Okay. So popped that up. There we go. Okay. So then I thought on the inside, oh, I was going to show you. So when I went to cut this out, I trim it. I thought, well, I mean, it's easy enough to cut the whole thing because it's pretty straightforward. I thought, I wonder if I could use my punch. So I did actually punch this like this. And then I only had to trim the bottom part. So that gave me a nice smooth top on that. So just a tip for cutting that out. All right, so then on the inside, normally we'll just put, if it's light enough paper like this is, you could actually just stamp something on the inside and sign it or whatever you wanted to do. But I thought, you know what, why not use some of the designer paper on the inside? So this is a couple pieces I had left over from the Waves of the Ocean, this paper. And I thought that it would be really pretty. I think I like the lighter side. To just put this on the inside as something different, since we always put the DSP on the front, like the inside to decorate the inside of the card. And then I will just put a little piece of white I will show you to write on. And it's always nice if this is not a card where you want to write a lot, it's nice. Sometimes you might want to write a lot, have you been, what are you doing, whatever. But if not, you just put the little piece of white here, and then you don't have, wishing you a very happy birthday or, whatever. So that way the inside of the card becomes as interesting as the outside. So I'm going to use that warm hello again, because remember this first one, sending you a, and I'll put warm hello there. Since I had the wave stamped on the bottom and I didn't have room for words. Okay. So now see, we've got the waves back here, we've got the colors, we've got the wave there. There's a lot of coordination going on here. And then really, I think that looks cool with the water wave thing as the on the inside of the card. This one I already had, sending you a warm hello, which is getting a little diffused because it wasn't completely dry. And I may just leave it. I'm going to see what it looks like once it's completely dry. There we go. And I'll put the little piece of paper on the inside. So 2 ways, a little bit different. Here I've got the wave, here I've got words. But use that DSP on the inside as well as the front of your card. I think it really makes a nice look. And I hope you have a great day.